So, now that we've completed the game, why don't we take a quick look at this game's extra mode? So, once you do beat the game, you actually get to select levels, but with a twist this time. So, after we select our character, which is definitely not any of these losers, it's, of course, Toad, we actually get the Yoshi Challenge. In each level of the game, there are 2 Yoshi eggs, which we can find, but of course, they aren't just out in the open, they're actually in the mirror world. Now, this does add a bit of a challenge to the game, as the Yoshi eggs do replace most of the secret mushrooms, and as such, for the most part, you're going to be running around with only 2 health, which, as we've seen by my playstyle, is, well, rather dangerous. But that's the reason I'm not going to be doing the entire game, because they do replace the super mushrooms, so we're pretty much going to be doing the same thing in World 1. It's just get the potion, and this time instead of getting a mushroom, we get an egg. Even with editing, this would be pretty boring overall, so I'm just gonna skip it. I mean, second off, there's not even a good reward for it. I mean, back in the day, there was actually a rumor that you could play as Yoshi, but that's just not true. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Yoshi, but at the same time, you know, he'd be a pretty good combination character. You know, he'd have Luigi's high jump and Peach's float, and well, I don't think anyone could be as fast or strong as Toad, so that's out of the picture. But yeah, he'd be a combination of Peach and Luigi, definitely. Also, pro speedrun strats right there. Toad is the best. The proest strats he has just displayed right there for your face. You can watch it with your eyes. But yeah, I definitely don't want to do the entire game all over again, because as much as I like this game, really don't want to play it twice over in more or less the exact manner I did before. I mean, the Yoshi eggs can be in slightly different locations, I think, but for the most part, it's pretty much just the same deal, so yeah, I wasn't really feeling up to it. In fact, I was kind of sick of World 1 after I recorded this, so yeah, definitely don't want to do the entire thing. I mean, thankfully World 1 is quick anyway, so, you know, it's not like we're wasting too much time here, but, you know, still, entire game, this would not be fun. I mean, you can definitely play it again, because again, it does make for a nice challenge if you're only wanting 2 hearts. But you're probably not going to do extra mode until it's been a while since you've played the game. Also, fun fact, Peach, Birdo, and Toad all share the same voice actress. In this game, and even though the voice actresses have changed, Peach and Toad still have the same voice. I mean, unfortunately, Birdo only makes weird sounds now for some reason. Even though canonically, according to this game, she does speak, but whatever. But yeah, that's always kind of it's actually kind of a weird thing. I mean, I can definitely hear it now that I know it, but it's just odd that the same person who does Peach just puts on a voice for Toad. I don't know why, it still makes sense, it's just weirding me out for some reason. But anyway, since I have all that out of the way, and since there were no proper credits, I guess I might as well give my thoughts on the game now. It's not my favorite 2D Mario, because that honor belongs... I say honor, oh man, this guy on the internet, he likes the game, you might as well have a medal, because that's just so important. But yeah, Super Mario World is definitely my favorite 2D Mario game, but I think this is a close second overall. I think it's pretty fun. A lot of people don't like it because, you know, oh, different mechanics and all that. I guess I can understand that, but I still think it's a pretty fun game overall, and of course there's also the argument that a lot of people turn to, you know, there's the fact that this really inspired a lot of aspects of later Mario games. I mean, Shy Guys, Birdo, you know, stuff like that, they wouldn't exist without Super Mario 2 here. And of course, there's Peach's ability to float, there's also that. So, you know, I don't think that's the best argument that, oh, hey, there are a lot of things in here that inspired later games. You could say the same thing about Mario 1, once things in that game inspired stuff later on, but I would not say Mario 1 is one of my favorite Marios. It's an important game, yeah, but not one of my favorites. And I mean, there is that fact that the level variety really isn't that good. I've complained about that plenty of times, so I guess in that aspect Super Mario Bros. 3 is better because it's got a whole lot of level themes. You know, grasslands, deserts, water world, jungle world, stuff like that. It's pretty cool overall. But I still think this level design in this game is pretty strong. Both games actually have pretty similar level design. Both kind of prefer taking the short level design route, because this game's levels are a bit longer than Mario 3, but in the long run they're still fairly short overall, I'd say. And I think the good thing is that nothing really feels too long. Like, even the longer stages in the game don't really feel like they're too long overall. I think they're just fine lengthwise. I have no complaints about that. I also like the multiple characters thing, I mean, I only ever use Toad, but, it's nice that other characters are there. Just in case you want to take a break from playing the best character in the game, you can play as Mario for some reason. I don't know why... Oh, that's pretty sweet. I mean, I don't know why you would, but it's an option, for sure. And of course, there's the music. There are like 3 tracks in the game, but it's a decent soundtrack, if only for the overworld theme. It's a pretty catchy tune. I mean, I guess overall it's not really that strong a game overall in regards to soundtrack, but you know what? What's there is fairly good. Boss design is okay in this game. Mario games don't usually have the best bosses, but this game does it decently. I also like the advanced version's attempts to add a few more bosses. And by a few, I mean one. There is Roberdetta. And that's pretty much it. But hey, there's a variety of bosses, and they're all pretty cool. They're all sort of centralized around the whole throwing things mechanic. And I mean, I haven't really talked about Doki Doki Panic, but that's because I don't really know too much about the game. And, I wouldn't really play it. And honestly, I think in the long run it's better that that game got reskinned to be a Mario game, because it found more success like that. Admittedly, though, I do actually kind of like the design aspects of Doki Doki Panic. Like, it's got some pretty neat elements to it. I like the sort of aesthetic it's got going for it. I kind of like its theme, basically, but yeah, for the most part, I think this game is pretty fitting as Mario. I mean, they didn't even really change that much. Enemies didn't change up, areas didn't change up. For the most part, it was pretty much just the characters, so it wasn't really a huge leap, and yet it's still pretty fitting, so I think all in all, that's pretty good. And I think that's just about it, not too much else. Toad is pretty great, there's that, but I think you just about know that at this point. But I guess since I don't have anything left to talk about, I might as well just skip ahead to the end of the boss. And once we get all the eggs, congratulations, you get a bunch of colorful little Yoshis, which are pretty similar to their Advance 2 designs. They look pretty neat, I guess, but it's not really the best reward. And with that done, all that's really left is to just, I guess, splice in a picture of the title screen when you actually collect all the eggs in the game. Last time I checked, it's actually a little bit difficult to find pictures of that, so I don't think many people actually bothered to, actually go after that for the most part. Or at the very least, they didn't care enough to actually get a screenshot of it. But yeah, that's your reward for playing through the entire game a second time, which I'm gonna guess most people don't do immediately after they've beaten the game, but... So, since I didn't say it last time, that's pretty much it for Super Mario Bros. 2. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time for whatever I do next.